It is no secret that Dollar Tree carries an entire selection of flip-flops during the summer, and they are beautiful to wear and fun to craft with. We are going to take this horizontal wooden sign. It was left over from the fall season. I'm just going to roughen up the surface with my electric sander, and then we are just going to dust it really well. We want to paint it. We don't want that fall design to show. So I am going to use Waverly chalk pen in the white, and I'm just going to give it one coat. It's not going to show a lot, but we just want to brighten it up and make it nice and blank slate. All right, so we are going to put that to the side to dry, and then we're going to work with our flip-flops. I'm going to use 3 different sizes. These are smaller ones. They're not exactly the same size, and it's okay. I'm also going to be using these Dollar Tree letters. You can find these in the school aisle, and I'm going to spell out the word summer. So I'm just going to place 1 letter in each flip-flop to the bottom part. If you have a cutting machine, you can use any color vinyl you want, but just to keep it in the Dollar Tree inexpensive side, we are going to use these, and they look really nice. The only thing is they didn't stick very well, so I did have to reinforce some of them, actually all of them, here and there with a little bit of hot glue to make sure they're not going to come off. Now, this is a design that you're going to put either inside or outdoors, but it has to be covered because these are paper letters and they will not hold up to the elements. On my last flip-flop video, I did add some of these little flowers on top of flip-flops. I loved the look, and I'm going to repeat that in this one. But instead of pink and yellow flowers, I am going to use pink and purple. So we're just going to poke a hole using my screwdriver on this side, just close enough to the thong, and then we're going to add a little hot glue and add a flower. This just adds texture, color, just so much fun. And I did that on all 6 flip-flops. The board is now dry, and we're going to start putting everything together. So we're going to start in the center and work our way outwards. So I'm going to start with the 2 M's, and I'm just going to hot glue it. Now, these are very lightweight flip-flops. They are made out of foam, so the glue really sticks to the board. And we're just going to add the other 4 flip-flops on each side. How fun is this? I saw something very similar on Pinterest, and I knew I could recreate using Dollar Tree items. These little hooks I get on Amazon, they come in a set of different sizes, and I do have them on my Amazon store, which is always linked in the description box if you want to check them out. I'm just going to screw them in. You just kind of start twisting them until it screws in, and I'm going to add 1 on each side, leaving about 1 inch to 1.5 inches from each side. I'm going to use some white nautical rope from Dollar Tree, and we're just going to knot it, and that's it. What an easy craft anyone can do, so inexpensive and so fun. You can add anything to it, not just the word summer. You can add your last name. You can add whatever you want. The possibilities are endless. It is fun. It is easy. Love the colors. What do you think of this one? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take this seashell wreath form from Dollar Tree. This was left over from last year summer snatch, and this half foam ball, I cut it for a previous project. I'm going to slice it again just to make a smaller flat foam piece, and we're going to poke a couple of holes because we are going to attach it using zip ties to the bottom left hand corner. Now I thought I added 1, but I did end up add 2 because I just wanted it to be nice and sturdy and it not moving on me because we are attaching quite a bit to it. All right, so we're going to cut off the excess using my wire cutters, and then we're going to bring in these fun flip-flops. They complement the design so beautifully. So we're just going to stack them, and at first I thought I could hot glue them like I did in the previous project, but it was not hot gluing easily at all with the foam melting. So I decided to poke holes and add zip ties like I did. And then we're just going to make sure that we are zip tying them towards the back and securing in place. I'm going to do the same thing with the other flip-flop right next to it, making sure that one's just a little taller than the other. It is looking so pretty. Now, Dollar Tree has these coastal pigs. I had never seen them before. They brought them in this year. Love the designs. They have such a beautiful beachy summer fun look to them. I'm going to use several of them. I'm going to separate all the little pigs from each pig, and then we're just going to cut and hot glue and insert inside the foam as you want. So I'm just going to add some here in between the flip-flops just to add texture and a lot of color. And then we're going to add several towards the outside of the flip-flops. That way it's just going to fill that area up. But I'm not going to add any towards the bottom right corner because we're going to add something different. Once the picks were in place, I'm going to add this last one here. Now, I have never worked with deco mesh. You know, this like decorative mesh. Never. And I have crafted for years, my friends. This is my very first time working with it. Had I felt it before? Yeah. I can't remember where. But I don't think I've ever worked with it. At least I don't remember. But it's okay. We're going to use this beautiful blue tone one because it complements the design beautifully. I'm going to zigzag it, just kind of flip it one side and then to the other side, just creating about a 12-inch or maybe 13-inch kind of like bow. We're just going to tie it in the center here with some zip tie, cut off the excess, and then add one more. And we're going to put it right there towards behind the flip-flops. And that way we're just going to nicely tuck it in there, zip tie it nicely tight. And when you flip it over, it looks so cute. I love the pop of color. So cute. All right, so I still felt like something was missing. Now, Dollar Tree has all of these seashells and designs that have wood beads. Love these for crafting. I'm going to take this seashell one and we are going to actually remove the seashell, but we're going to keep those beads because we are going to use them. Now, I am going to hot glue the seashell right here in the center. I just wanted to, first of all, cover the zip ties. And secondly, I just wanted to add a pop of like contrast color. And the white was beautiful. I'm going to thread the bead garland right through the deco mesh. This is just going to add texture and a pop of color. And then these little thumbtacks, they have a jewel tones to them. They look like pearls, and I think it complements the cutest design. I love this. I am going to remove the prickly part with my wire cutter, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of glue and then just add to the deco mesh. I'm going to add 3 different tones there, and then I'm going to add one more on the hole where the seashell is. Several of you have called me out saying you should cover that hole. So here I am. I did cover it up, and look how beautiful this is. It looks so beachy, so coastal. Would love to know what you think. Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, I'm going to take these beautiful white and pink flip-flops and a piece of cardboard. We're just going to tilt them kind of like a V shape, like an upside down V. And I'm going to mark where I need to cut. The first thing we are cutting is the shape of a triangle. Once I have that cut, then we're going to add the flip-flops again, trace again, and cut again. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to use my blade knife. You know I love this blade knife. It is awesome. I get it on Amazon, and it is in my Amazon store. All right, so we're going to put them right there again, just dry fit them. And now we are going to actually trace the shape of the flip-flops because we want to cut off all that excess cardboard around it. So I'm just going to do my best to just kind of cut around it. Now, as I was cutting, I was realizing that the cardboard was just going to be a little too thin, especially on top. It leaves this tiny little piece. So I'm just going to add these paint sticks, cut them to size as needed, and hot glue them in place. This is going to add stability and a little bit more thickness. So when we add the flip-flops and the entire design, it's going to fit nicely. So then once we had them, we are going to paint them because just in case you can see some of it on the sides of the flip-flops, you want to make sure it looks nice and neat. So I'm just going to give them each one coat of Waverly chalk paint in the white. And then, of course, we want to let that dry. I'm going to take this love sign from Dollar Tree. We're going to remove everything from it, the jute string, the little wreath. We're going to sand it down just a little bit to remove any excess paper, glue, whatever it has on top. And then, of course, we want to wipe it really well because we want to paint it and we do not want to paint over dust. I'm going to use this beautiful agave color by Waverly. It is just gorgeous. I'm going to do a couple of coats as needed and then, of course, put that to the side to dry. And while that is drying, we are going to take the flip-flops because this piece is now dry and we're just going to hot glue them right there. Hot glue was plenty sufficient. It glued perfectly, and I'm just going to do one at a time. All right, so now that we have this piece together, we are going to flip it over and we're going to add some rope. This is where the entire piece is going to hang from. So I'm just going to use some of that same nautical white rope from Dollar Tree. We're just going to add it towards the back. I'm also going to tape it because I don't want it to fray on me. So I'm just going to add a few pieces of masking tape from Dollar Tree to each side of the rope. This is going to add stability, but also it's going to prevent the rope from fraying. All right, so now we're going to flip it over to the other side and we're going to make some faux knots. I've used this technique before. We want to make it look like the sign is going to be hanging through the knots, but really it's just hanging from the back. But adding the faux knots just add a nice little detail to it. So I'm just going to make a couple of them and hot glue them to the front, the bottom of each flip-flop. All right, the board is dry, so I'm going to take this welcome stencil and I'm just going to stencil it using Waverly chalk pen in the white. And I'm just going to do the round and around technique. It really works really well and it doesn't bleed on me at all. So we're going to do that, and this is what's going to hang on the bottom of the piece. Look how beautiful that looks. I love the contrast. We're going to seal it with some top coat. This is Rust-Oleum and it's just clear. We're just going to add one coat and then let it dry. All right, so now we're going to put everything together and we're going to hang the flip-flops from the sign, and we're just going to add hot glue and more rope to each one. Again, this is where it's going to hang from, but it's going to look like it's hanging from the faux knot. I'm measuring, making sure that the sign is exactly 2 inches from each flip-flop. That way it's not going to be tilted, or at least try for it to be not tilted. And we're going to add tape once again so that it does not fray on us. And this is just a nice technique to use, and we'll do that on the bottom and the top. Now, you know I love my greenery. Now, you can skip this part if you want. I think it looks beautiful as is. But I just thought adding some of these faux ferns from Dollar Tree just add a pop of color, texture, and it just makes it look festive, in my opinion at least. I'm going to add a few here and there, and I'm just going to kind of bend them towards the bottom, almost like they're just hanging down like real ferns. And then I decided to add a pop of color with a pink flower and a yellow flower. All of this is from Dollar Tree. How fun is this? So inexpensive. The pink flower really adds that nice touch and it complements the design. And then that yellow from this flower, oof, it's just gorgeous, my friends. I love the way this one turned out. It is such a large piece. It is festive. It is colorful. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we are going to take these tiny little flip-flops and this mason jar. Now, this is the kind of craft that is so easy to make. Anyone can do. If you have a mason jar, grab some flip-flops. These are the kid's size, and I think it has such a groovy color, such a fun design. I poke a couple of holes on each flip-flop, and now I'm just going to thread some jute string. This is a white kind. Use whatever you have at home, okay? We're just going to in and out thread it through each flip-flop, just like you see here, and then we're going to wrap it around the mason jar. So easy. We're going to tie it in a very simple knot in the back. And I am going to add teal tone burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree around the thread on the top of the mason jar. I'm going to fold it in half, and then I am going to glue it in place. This is just going to hide the thread and then just add another pop of color. We're going to add a cute little yellow flower from Dollar Tree right there in the center. How adorable is this? Now, you can use this to put flowers. You can put fairy lights inside the mason jar. I'm going to keep it simple because there's so much color on the design. I'm just going to use some greenery picks from Dollar Tree. Gorgeous. This will make a beautiful centerpiece for an outdoor party or even just to have it indoors. Let me know what you think of this one. I have another video here for you, my friends, with tons more of Dollar Tree DIY crafts inspiration. Check it out. I'll see you later and have a blessed day. Bye.